This case was briefly reported in Legg's Law Reports in 1836. In 1998, an academic went back to the original court materials and produced a more detailed report. This case note quotes from both. The defendant, Jack Murrell, was appealing his conviction for having murdered another Aboriginal person named Bill Jabingai. His counsel argued that the court had no jurisdiction because colonial law had no power over matters between Aboriginal people. Counsel argued, the reason why subjects of Great Britain are bound by the laws of their own country is that they are protected by them. The natives are not protected by those laws. They are not admitted as witnesses in courts of justice. They cannot claim any civil rights. They cannot obtain recovery of or compensation for those lands which have been torn from them and which they have probably held for centuries. They are not therefore bound by laws which afford them no protection. This argument was, however, doomed to fail. Justice Burton concluded that there could be no situation within British territories where one person could murder another and be beyond the law. Along the way, he said, the various tribes had not attained at the first settlement of the English people amongst them to such a position in point of numbers and civilisation, and to such a form of government and laws as to be entitled to be recognised as so many sovereign states governed by laws of their own. This statement initiated the legal doctrine of Terra Nullius, that the Australian continent was nobody's land at the time of European arrival, that it was settled because there was no sovereign nation to conquer and no sovereign people capable of ceding territory. This doctrine dominated for 150 years until it was overturned by the High Court in Mabo. From a criminal law perspective, this case makes it clear that the criminal law applies to everybody whilst they are within the territory of the relevant state or nation. Justice Burton said, there is no distinction in law in respect to the protection due to his person between a subject living in this colony under the King's peace and an alien living therein under the King's peace. He doesn't quite say that Aboriginal people are to be treated as aliens on their own land, but he comes pretty close. This little-known case has an amazing place in history.